Okay, so now let's learn how to calculate area of a rectangle. And is there any formula that we can think of when we talk about area of a rectangle? So again, we are going to use the same square paper or square graphs to explain you. And let's suppose that let's assume that we have, in order to calculate the area of these rectangles, we have this graph. Okay, this is a square graph as what we saw in the part 1 video on area and the part 2 video on area. Let's take this first one. Let's assume that this is the first one. Okay, so if this is the first one and we have to calculate area, so we know that in order to calculate area, you have to count the number of full squares, number of half squares, the number of less than half squares, the squares that are less than a half square, and the squares that are greater than a half square. Those of you who haven't watched the part 1 video on area and part 2 video on area, please watch those videos. Go to the playlist called grade 6 mathematics and just check out area part 1 and area part 2. So there we have discussed in a very detailed way that how we calculate area using a square graph or graph paper, a square paper or a square graph. In this video, I want to discuss about area of a rectangle using this graph in a square graph or square paper. So for this area, we can clearly see that here we have all full squares. I have drawn this rectangle in a way that we don't have any half or less than half or more than half. Even if it would have been, and if you would have calculated even in that case, then whatever the area you will calculate here will be equal to that case too. So let's begin. How many full squares do we have here? And let's suppose that for this rectangle we have the length is as 5 centimeter. Let's suppose that it is a 5 centimeter and this breadth is 3 centimeter. Okay, so if this is 5 centimeter and it is 3 centimeter, and we have plotted it according to that, because we know that each length of a square in a square paper is 1 centimeter. So if this length is 5 centimeter, then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, it should cover 5 squares. And if the breadth is 3 centimeter, then you should cover how many squares? 1, 2 and 3. Okay, that's very clear. So 5 centimeter and 3 centimeter. Hey, I'm really very sorry for that barking sound of dogs. Here in our society we have lots and lots of dogs, and it's evening time and they all are set free here. So I'm really sorry for that. Kindly bear that you are going to hear a lot of noise. So okay, 5 centimeter and 3 centimeter. Now if I have to calculate the area, then the area will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. We have 15 full squares. Full squares. How many full squares we have? We have 15 full squares. Since we have 15 full squares, the area will be covered by 15 full squares will be 15 square centimeter. Why? Because one square has an area of 1 square centimeter. Therefore 15 squares will have 15 square centimeter, right? So this is area as 15 square centimeter. Now let's take for this one, and in this case what we have done is we have 8 centimeter as our length. So since 8 centimeter is the length, so you can clearly see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 squares in a row, and then this is 3 centimeter. That is this width of this rectangle is 3 centimeter. So 1, 2 and 3, right? Now how many squares do we have? Again, here I have drawn it in a way that we don't have any half, we don't have any squares that are less than a half, and we don't have squares that are greater than half. Okay, even if it would have been, then the calculation would be same. Okay, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, then 8 here 16 and 8 here 24. So we have how many full squares do we have? We have 24. Since one the area of 1 square is 1 square centimeter. Therefore, the area of 24 squares will be 24 full squares will be 24 square centimeter. Okay, this third one. In this case, we have length as 4 centimeter and width as 2 centimeter. And if you calculate the number of full squares here, how many full squares do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 here and 4 here. We have 8 full squares. Since area of 1 square is 1 square centimeter, therefore area of 8 full squares will be 8 square centimeter. Okay, so this is the case now. Now, what's the pattern or what formula we can infer from this? So if you look at this one, this is 15. Can we see here that if we multiply 5 by 3, that is 5, that is length, times the breadth, it will come 15. In this case, if we multiply the length times the breadth, that the width, 8 times 3, you will get 24. That's here. In this case, 4, that is a length, times breadth, that is 2. So 4 times 2, that is 8. Therefore, you'll get 8 square centimeter. That's here. So what we can infer from here? In each case, area is actually length times breadth. I'm using L for length, that is this one, and B for breadth, that is this one. So area in each case is L times B, and if you solve here, this will be 5 times 3, that is 5 times 3 will be 15 square centimeter. Square, this is a short way to write square. Okay, in this case you have 8 times 3, that is 24 square centimeter. And in this case, you have 4 times 2, that is 8 square centimeter. Therefore, what's the formula? So for the area of a rectangle will be equal to length times breadth and square unit. Unit can be centimeter, can be millimeter, can be meter, whatever. It's this formula that's really very important, and you have to keep this in mind. Here I have shown you how you can infer this formula from this discussion that we have done on using a square paper or a square graph. In the next video, we'll learn how to calculate the area of a square.